Okay. I believe we are live. Okay. So we are live. This is, oh, I have, hold on, I have some. Okay, this is the meeting of the Board of Selectmen Interview Subcommittee. I'm going to read the script. Go ahead and read the script for you. This open meeting of the Board of Selectmen Interview Subcommittee is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's Executive Order of March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus. Can you hear that feedback?
No, but it's very kind of, it's gappy kind of.
Yeah, okay, because I hear a feedback. Okay, I'm just going to get through this. And as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Members of the Board of Selectmen Interview Committee are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order allows the Board of Selectmen Interview Committee to meet entirely remotely, so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Members of the public who wish to view the live stream of this meeting may do so by going to Northborough Remote Meetings on YouTube via the link listed on the posted agenda. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment. Board of Selectmen Interview Committee members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Selectman Leslie Rutan.
Here.
Selectman Tim Kalin.
Here.
And Selectman Scott Rogers.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're ready to proceed?
Yep, go right.
Thank you. Thank you, Di Wackel, for being here and for hosting our meeting. The first thing on our agenda is to accept the meeting minutes from previous subcommittee interview sessions. We have meetings of December 1st, 2020 that Tim and I need to approve. Do I hear a motion to approve the meeting minutes of December 1st, 2020?
Leslie, make a motion to approve the minutes from December 1st, 2020.
Second. Is there any discussion on those?
No.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And we also have minutes from December 8th, 2020. Do I hear a motion to accept the minutes of December 8th, 2020?
Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from December 8th, 2020.
A second. Is there any discussion?
No.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. All right, so those meeting minutes have been approved. We have another 2 sets of meeting minutes to approve. Should we hold off on those since we need Selectmen?
Yeah, I think maybe we should postpone them to the next interview committee meeting since just Scott's here. We'll need Jason as well.
Okay.
That won't delay anything as far as the Board of Selectmen meeting on Monday, will it?
No, I'll place them in the packets in draft form. Because they have both been reviewed by Scott and Jason.
Okay.
Okay.
So they can still make
Diane,
the recommendations on Monday.
Yes.
Okay.
And
thank you.
Diane, I'm sorry, through the chair too.
Yep.
Diane, thank you so much for turning those around so quickly to get
Oh,
those
you're
drafts
welcome.
in place in time for the meeting. Really appreciate that.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Wonderful job as always.
Thank you.
Okay, so Selectman Rogers and Selectman Perot would need to approve those particular meeting minutes since they were the attendees at the meetings of March 29th and March 31st. So we'll postpone those, and those will be on our agenda in draft form on Monday. And those won't have any implication in terms of recommendations at that meeting.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
That's great.
Can they approve those meetings at the Selectmen's meeting on Monday?
No,
Okay,
no.
okay.
All right. Okay, well, thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Scott.
Very much.
Yeah, good to see you. Good luck on the interviews. Have fun.
Take care.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and bring in, we have our first interview is for the Youth Commission. Her name is Jennifer Lipton O'Connor, and also June David Fors is the Family and Youth Services Director. Are you ready?
Yes.
Bring them in.
Yes, Director, yes. June David Force. Yes. Hello. Hi, Jim.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi there.
Hi, Dr. Lipton. How are you?
Ready?
Good. Okay, first of all, we have Doug Wackel, who is hosting our meeting this evening. And I'm Selectman Leslie Rattan.
And I am Selectman Tim Canlin. Nice to meet you.
Meet you both.
Nice to see you. June, thank you very much for being here. June is the Family and Youth Services Director. So she is here as a resource so that she can provide some information for any questions that you may have about that particular.
We actually know each other from,
Okay.
yeah, so from my work at the high school.
Okay, that's
So,
wonderful. Okay, excellent. Okay, so Jennifer, let me just ask you, first of all, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And if you could tell us what your particular interest is in this commission.
Sure. And it's a little hard to find out about the committee. There isn't a lot on the website, and I asked a few members. So I actually feel like I need to learn more about what the committee does. But, you know, I live in town. I have 2 children. I work at the high school. I'm the school psychologist there. So, you know, I've always known about the commission and known a few of the members of the commission and been really interested in it. And I think I felt like if I was ever going to join and, you know, offer to work with the commission, I felt like now during the pandemic was kind of the most important time. You know, just thinking about children and mental health is like how I spend all my waking hours. And, you know, usually my work at the high school, you know, is with one set of students, but I know there's a lot more that there's such a need right now for, you know, services and supports for families, and, you know, mental health is obviously a big one, but so many other needs. So I just felt like I would love to, you know, offer any, you know, skills I might bring to it and just my time. And hopefully that answered your question. Sorry.
It does.
Got off track a little.
No. I think that's great to hear that. If you could tell us about your background. We have your application, so I have read through that in your resume.
Okay.
But the viewing audience does not know, and people also watch these meetings on replay if they're interested. So if you could tell us what your background is.
Yeah, so I grew up in New Jersey, and I went to Columbia University where I got my bachelor's in psychology, and then worked for a few years, and then came to Massachusetts to go to MIT where I got a master's in cognitive science, and then went to Harvard for another master's in psychology, and then my PhD in psychology. So I'm licensed as a school psychologist in the state of Massachusetts, and I'm also a board certified behavior analyst, doctoral level, BCBA. So I really have, you know, have a lot of education. You know, I worked in a few different school districts and really love, you know, working here in town in Algonquin. I love the high school. It's just an amazing school, and just this year's been incredible. Just the resilience all those students and teachers and staff have shown. So, you know, my background is really as a school psychologist and really, you know, working with all kinds of students and families to support them, you know, whatever their needs are.
Okay, you mentioned that you have worked to create parent training and programming at Algonquin. Could you explain a little bit more about that?
Yes, and actually, if people really like me, they can watch me again on Thursday because we're having a webinar. So this year, everything's on Zoom, and there's been a lot of communication we've had with families, right, around preparing to come back to school, the different models we've had. Right now, we're preparing that we're coming back fully in 2 weeks, which is exciting, but also, anxiety provoking. So, one of the things we're doing is this Thursday, the principal is giving a presentation to all the parents. And I'm doing, like a 5 or 10 minute discussion on, how you can support your students coming back to school. So, that overall wellness, thinking about these kids haven't been on a schedule in a year, right? They haven't had to wake up, like all these things that, just talking to the parents and giving some ideas and strategies of things really to start. Like my main point is going to be like, you got to start now. You can't start Sunday night before we go back to school Monday, right? Like we got to get these kids back. The stamina is a big one, right? They've only been in school like 2 days a week, and now they're coming back 5 days. So, that's just one of the examples of some of the, outreach we've been doing to families. And it's it's nice to work in town. I live in town. I have kids in the schools. I kind of am living it. I feel like these are really important things to be talking about right now. So that's kind of why I'm here as well.
That's terrific, and I certainly hope a lot of parents watch the webinar.
Yeah.
I bet that's going to be pretty well attended, I would guess.
I think so. I mean, a lot of it too is those logistical things that are really important, like, contact tracing, all of that stuff. But then I think the larger questions of like, there's a lot of stress around how this is going to be for students, right? And just families. So how do we support everybody, given people's different situations?
Exactly. That's fantastic. That's wonderful. This would be a great time, I think, for June maybe to talk about what the commission does exactly and how you think that the skills and the attributes that Dr. Lipton brings could be of benefit to the commission, and when you meet and so forth.
Sure. So the Youth Commission plays a really important role in terms of an avenue for me and the staff to get ideas from the community and the schools and support for the programs we're doing, generating ideas for different needs. And we have 7 board members, but we also have 2 or 3 student liaisons who come to the meetings, and they've played such an important role because they really have the pulse on what's going on. So they play a very important role to the agency and to me. We meet, I think it ends up to be 10 months a year. We always meet on the 3rd Thursday at 7 p.m. and it goes for about an hour and a half. And I think the times we miss are December and maybe July because of people's vacations. It's a very, very supportive, well-rounded group. The members are from the schools, from the community. Some have had kids in the programs. We're very, very fortunate to have a very supportive committee right now. And we also have another therapist that's on the committee. So it's out in the community. So it's really helpful also for the board members to learn more detail about what we do. So, and about us, that we do a range of services from counseling to referrals to interface to find therapists that are available. We help people with fuel assistance, food stamps. We help people with housing search. So we really do a wide range of social services. And at the end of the meetings, toward the end, I usually ask the students and community members what they see going on in the community.
Mhm.
Because like I said, they have a pulse on things that we don't necessarily have.
Do you feel they're comfortable talking to you and bringing up things that they see at the school?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful.
And actually, some of the school people get surprised when the high school liaisons bring up issues. Like, they bring a different level to the issue. So it's a really wonderful, supportive group all around.
Well, you do wonderful things.
Oh, thank you.
Jennifer, do you have any questions of June?
I don't think so. I mean, June and I have worked together and, in my professional life. So I feel like I know the programs. I think they do great work for the community. I don't think I have any questions for her. I always appreciate all the work she does. We work very closely together.
That's wonderful. That is terrific. Does anyone else have any questions? Anything else they want to raise or bring up? Okay. Well, what we're going to be doing at our meeting on Monday, at our Board of Selectmen meeting, is to make motions for these particular appointments that we're doing this evening. So that would be Monday, April 12th. There would be votes made on this. And you're the only applicant for this particular position, but I have to say that you just have a terrific background. And I think it's wonderful that someone with your educational background, I know how busy you must be, that you would want to become involved in your community like this. I think it's wonderful.
I really, I come from a family that took community service very seriously, and that's always been something that's been really important to me. So I felt like this was a great way to kind of give back to the community too.
It sure is. It's wonderful. So unless there's anything else, we will be taking this up at our meeting on Monday evening. And we want to thank you very much for your time and for interviewing with us tonight.
Thank you all so much for your consideration. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thank you very
Bye.
much, June. Thanks, June.
Yeah, I'm all set. I can leave.
Yes, thank you very
Yes,
much.
thank you, June.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry to hear you're leaving, Tim.
Oh, thank you, June. I appreciate that.
That's too bad. And Diane, I love your background. Is that a fireplace?
Thank you. It's actually wallpaper.
Oh my goodness, it's
It
great.
is.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It looks real.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, June.
Okay.
Okay, so we have Susie, the chair of the Community Affairs Committee, and then Jacelyn LaFrance, if you're ready. I'll go ahead and bring him in.
Jacqueline.
Okay.
Jacqueline, correct? Is that the correct pronunciation?
What is it?
Jacqueline, correct?
Jacqueline? Thank you.
I believe.
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay.
Thank you.
Hold on. Okay, good evening. Thank you very much for being here.
Actually, excuse me, this is Jen. So I'm going to put, Jen, I'm going to put you back in the waiting room.
Sure, I logged in a
I'm
little
going to
early.
get,
so
and
I
I'm going to
didn't
get
know.
Jacqueline. Yes, thank
See
you.
you guys in a minute then.
Thank you.
Scroll down here.
I'm changing my name now. It was changed again on me.
Okay.
There we go. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. This is the Board of Selectmen Interview Subcommittee meeting, and we are interviewing two individuals right now for the Community Affairs Committee. There's one opening, and the first person I'd like to say hi to is Susie Cislika, who is joining us this evening as the chair of the Community Affairs Committee, so that she can provide information to you Jacqueline. Is Jacqueline the correct pronunciation? Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. In case you have questions in terms of what the group does and meeting times and so forth. So the first thing I'd like to do is to find out a little bit about you and find out why you're interested in this committee.
All right, thank you. So my name is Jacqueline. I've lived in Northborough for about 5 years now. And I'm interested in the committee because usually, pre-pandemic, I would be working, coming home, relaxing, not very involved in the community. But with working from home, I've had more time and I've participated in some of the events. My partner and I, we've gone to the pumpkin stroll. We streamed the tree lighting this year, and we drove around with all of the lights and houses and voted for our favorite. So I thought it was such a nice way to be involved in the community and to learn more about where we're living. So I'd like to be a part of it.
Tell us about your background and what you think would be attributes that you think would be helpful in this committee.
Yeah, so I work for UMass Extension, the nutrition education program, for my full-time job. And there I really work with different communities throughout Worcester County. So I'll go in and teach nutrition and promote physical activity for anyone between the ages of a preschooler and senior citizens. So in each community we go in, we always meet with them to see what their specific needs are, to see what their community would be interested in, and we implement from there. So with this, the Community Affairs Committee, I have the experience in planning, not just implementing. So I respect the planning part of it. The implementation is the fun part. So I think with that experience, I've done need assessments and just working with people one-on-one and in larger groups.
Okay.
I'm also a real estate agent. So that's also client-based or customer-based, serving one-on-one needs. So.
Okay. Great. I think the next thing would be maybe to have Susie explain what the committee does, maybe go through some of the events that the Community Affairs Committee holds during the year, some new things that you've done this year, and what Jacqueline could be involved in potentially.
So I have been involved with community affairs for, I think, about 7 years now. I started out as a non-voting member of the committee. I would go to meetings, and we basically, our main core events include, we start off with the town cleanup, which is coming up in the end of April. And then we would go into 4 concerts. We had a movie night and the tree lighting. So we have evolved it to, we added a concert. So in usual times, we would have 5 concerts during the summer at Ellsworth McAfee. We eliminated movie night because it costs a lot to rent movies and then project them for a crowd. And then we had the tree lighting. So in the pandemic, like you said, we were all kind of sitting around and nobody had anything really to do besides your normal things. And we wanted to really embark on some different events that would show Northborough that we are still a community and we're still, trying to support them and have fun events and bring people together, even though we couldn't be in large crowds. So we started the pumpkin stroll, and then we had the light up the town, which was, both were extremely popular. Because we had to wait until the annual town cleanup, and we saw our restaurants were hurting. It's winter time, people can't really eat outside in the winter. So we wanted to boost restaurant sales. So we just ended yesterday our Munchie Madness contest. And if people bought anything, food, drink, anything from Northborough Eatery, they could upload a receipt, and then we're going to do a drawing. And then 3 winners will earn a $100 gift card to the restaurant of their choice in Northborough. So we're just trying to boost people and get people out there. We have the town cleanup, which we've also been expanding over the years, and we usually do a breakfast under the pavilion. Leslie and Tim have both attended. Cal from Muya comes. It's a really fun event. Now we have partnered during the pandemic with the Conservation Committee, and we are going to be promoting their coloring contest the Historical Society, who did a beautiful write-up on Louise Houle, who our town cleanup is named after. So we're working with them. The Trails Committee, who has given me a list of trails that we're now going to add to our list of streets to clean. And we're still going to have, and the Senior Center, because we're going to do a drive-through there and still have the breakfast items, just do it drive-through style so that people can still pick everything up. In May, we are going to be working on an event for June, which this is part of the wonderful part of our committee. We're all hands on deck, and even though I'm the chair, that basically means that I come to events like this, and I kind of lead the meeting. But we are really a committee in every sense of the word, and we really collaborate together. So we know that we're going to do something for small businesses. We just don't know what yet. We had an idea for a bingo. We haven't planned it yet. So we're going to be doing that. And our concerts, because of the rush for vaccines right now, everyone's getting vaccinated, especially by April 19th. So between that and the planning that would go into the concerts, if we were to plan them now for the end of June, we decided to hold off on the first 2 concerts, and we're just going to have 3. So we will be working. I've already been working closely with Kristen Black and Diane Lejean. Is that the pronunciation? Our food agent. And they have been wonderful in helping us get to the point where we can start planning on that. And then we will head into the fall. And at this point, we don't know. There could be new events. We just don't know yet. So I think I covered everything every season. And I hope I didn't talk too much.
Thank you.
Over.
How often do you meet, Susie?
So we meet the 3rd Wednesday of every month, and it's very easy now. In regular times when we meet at Town Hall, it was a little harder. Sometimes we would take it off if it's during spring break week, and most of the members aren't going to be there. We collaborate a lot, just via email, updating everybody. I heard from this person, I went to this business, stuff like that. So we chat a lot, but we meet, we go over all the important stuff at our meeting and then do the work in our off time.
Lots of good stuff there. I see you had it all memorized. That's pretty good.
It's like, well, it just ended. The Munchie Madness ended yesterday, and I have my calendar and things going on for the town cleanup. I got the gloves dropped off yesterday, so it's exciting.
I actually have a bag left over from last year. One of the yellow bags, I kept it rolled up.
Oh, definitely, because the DPW, who we're also working very closely with, is providing us with the bags again. I think they liked having the yellow, so the DPW goes around and picks up the bags the Monday after the town cleanup. So I give them my list of the streets and who signed up, and now the trails. So it'll be the entries to the trails, and they pick it up. It's really about we're really spearheading with the whole theme of collaboration amongst all of the different groups in town and how wonderful they are. And it's easy now when you can pop on a Zoom meeting for another group or send an email and they can discuss very easily. So taking advantage of this time.
Right. Yeah, there are a lot of advantages to this. Some disadvantages, and that's an advantage, actually.
Yes.
Definitely. Jacqueline, do you have any other questions? Does anything come to mind?
No, I think you covered all the bases. I was going to ask how often you meet and typically where it would be. I know now Zoom is really convenient. So if it were, post-COVID, it would be at the town hall.
Yes, it would be at the town hall. And we've had members who, can't make every meeting. Right now on the committee, I have a member who's a manager of a restaurant. It's been very hard during these times for her to, meet. Like some of her staff had COVID. She was working every day of the week. So we just kind of, we work around that. We're really, we keep everybody in the loop and we love new ideas, and we really kind of hash through, well, would this work? How are we going to do it? How are we going to contact the different places and everything? And I must mention Scott Rogers, who isn't on tonight. He's our liaison. He's been a big help too, getting us the lists of the restaurants in town. So it's just easier for us to split up the list, or the businesses for the our upcoming, whatever the concert may contest may be contest to increase foot traffic. But I do want to say, I wanted to tell both people that we're interviewing tonight that if you aren't officially appointed, I was on the committee for, I would say, maybe 4 months, and I didn't have a voting position. We vote on accepting the minutes, opening the meeting, accepting the financial statement, and closing the meeting. But we're really a collaborative group, and we would love to have more hands on deck if you'd like to join if you weren't appointed by the board. So I just want to I'm letting you both know that we would love the help. We have a lot of ideas to implement and fun to plan. Like you said, it is fun.
Okay. Wonderful, thank you. I think we have about, our 10 minutes are up now, so.
Okay.
So I think we've covered all the bases. We understand what the committee does and what the meeting schedule looks like, and we've heard about you. So is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, not at this time. Just want to thank everyone for taking time to meet with me, and I've enjoyed learning more. So I look forward to hearing from everyone.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
At the end of this meeting, Selectman Kalen and I will be deliberating since there are two of you for one position.
Okay.
So, and then we would bring that recommendation to our Board of Selectmen meeting on Monday, April 12th. And then we would vote for that recommendation.
Okay.
So,
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jacqueline.
Thank you.
you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to
Nice
meet
to
you.
meet you.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, so we have Jen Kenny is ready, if you are ready.
Sure.
All right.
Let me just bring her form up.
Mhm.
You're
Hi,
back.
Deja vu.
I'm back.
Hi, Jen. I'm Leslie
Hi,
Ritchie,
guys.
Board of Selectmen, and this is Tim Kalen, Board of Selectmen, and Susan Cislico is here as the Chair of the Community Affairs Committee as a resource for questions to talk about what the group does and what the meeting schedule is. So we have just a few minutes here, but what we'd like to do is, first of all, thank you for being here and interviewing with us this evening. We like to have people volunteering for things. If you
Thanks
could
for having me.
what your interest is in this particular group.
Sure. So I've lived in Northborough for 9 years now, and I have 2 children, 8 and 10. And I love the idea of the Community Affairs Committee. The fact that they basically plan fun, family fun, community fun, just a way to keep everybody together. And the fact they were able to do that even during a pandemic with some safe and social distance events that I took my own family to, I thought was wonderful and really helped uplift the community and keep everybody together. I previously was part of the Proctor PTO board. I did 2 years as president and 1 year as vice president. And now that my time on the PTO board has come to an end, I would love a way to still give back to the Northborough community. I thought I could bring what I've learned from being on that board, that experience, to this committee. I know I've collaborated with a few of the current committee members. I'm just really excited to help them continue to roll out the events they already have planned and research new events as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. If you could tell us about your background.
Sure. So like
your application here, and you know, we can see things on it, but the viewing audience or anyone looking at it on replay is not aware of these things. So this is a wonderful opportunity for you to tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Absolutely. So I grew up in Hopkinton, not too far away. And like I said, we've been in Northborough for 9 years now. My 2 children go to Proctor, ages 8 and 10. So I served on that PTO board, like I was saying. I've also volunteered at the Northborough Food Pantry, which gave me an opportunity to connect with some of the people in the community as well. I love to be involved, go to any of the town events. I try to keep up on the town meetings as well, and just be a part of the community.
Okay. Susie, if you can.
We have so many events.
There's
Okay.
so many events, but if you could tell us, kind of
Yes.
go litany about what your committee does, and actually I would like to hear too, you know, whether things are assigned to people? Do people volunteer? Because there's a lot of work that goes on, and I'm curious about, as Jen may be, about how the work happens there.
Yes. So I started on the Community Affairs Committee about 7 years ago. And I started out for the first couple months, and I was not a voting member, but I still attended the meetings, and we started planning stuff. We had our core events, which were the annual town cleanup, and we went into 4 concerts. We had a movie night, which we ended up canceling because it's a lot of money to broadcast a movie to the public. And then we would go into the tree lighting ceremony. So over the years, we added the other concert, and we've been trying to expand the tree lighting and the annual town cleanup. And I will say that the tree lighting has expanded a lot over the years. So that is, one of our favorite events too, bringing people together. So this year during the pandemic, as we were all kind of sitting around and needed something to do and wanted to bring people together socially distanced, we did the pumpkin stroll. And then we did the light up the town, the house decorating contest, and we're able to pull together the tree lighting streaming. With Northborough Cable, we got enough likes to be able to stream it live. So that was very, very exciting for us. And now we started the Munchie Madness, which ended yesterday. So if people bought a food or drink item at an eatery in Northborough, they could upload the receipt for a chance to win a $100 gift card. We're doing 3 winners. And then we're starting into our annual town cleanup season, where residents sign up for a different town. And we have this year brought in the Conservation Committee. We work with the Junior Women's Club. We're working with the Trails Committee, who gave us a list of trails to add to the list, and the Senior Center, which is going to be our new drop-off. And we're going to have Chick-fil-A join us again, and goodies from Wegmans. So they've been very kind with their donations, and coffee from Dunkin'. And then because of the pandemic and the vaccines just kind of starting, we made a decision to hold off on the first 2 concerts. Working with our Board of Health inspector, she had said, if we're to plan it, we plan it as though we're showing the concert today. We normally have all of our bands booked and our food trucks booked. I have the pages up and we're inviting people left and right. That's a lot of work for us to do if we were planning it for today. So we decided to eliminate the first 2 concerts this season, and we're just going to do the 3 in late July and 2 in August. And then who knows where, and we're doing a new event in May to June too. I almost forgot, for small businesses, but we don't have a lot planned. We just want to boost them up like we boosted up the restaurants. So we're a very collaborative committee. I like to say I'm the chair, but the only reason that I call myself the chair is because I come to stuff like this and I run the meetings by the agenda and hand in the agenda. We really all work together. We have a treasurer and we have a secretary, but other than that, I usually handle like the Facebook posts and the website now. And another member handles the PR going out to all the different, we send PR to the Boy Scouts, the churches, the Girl Scouts, the schools, the community advocate. We send it to everybody, a lot of the different committees. I'm sure we send it to the Board of Selectmen. And then basically we just kind of, if we're sitting in a meeting and we're saying, okay, is this going to work? How is this going to work? Who's going to handle this? And people just kind of volunteer organically. Although one member has come out as a strong front runner for someone that handles the maps and the routing, and for like the light up the town, which was a little more complex than we expected, trying to group the houses together by neighborhood and, so people could drive through. But other than that, we really just all work together. It's a great group. And I am letting both applicants know that if you are not appointed, we would love to have you. You just won't be able to vote on accepting the minutes and the financial statements and closing the meeting. But other than that, we would love the extra help and all hands on deck. And we just, it is a lot of fun. We all just work together. And that's how it's always been too. The whole time I've been on it, it's always been a great group of people. So did I cover everything that I covered the first time? I didn't have notes.
And we covered meeting schedule, right?
Meeting schedule, the third Wednesday of every month, we meet for an hour on Zoom, and then we do a lot of, chatting off. Like, I talked to this business and I've been to this restaurant. I got the gloves. I sent that, out. I have the gloves. So.
I have a question for you. Do you feel that the community is pretty involved in terms of wanting to attend and see things or view videos of things, replays? How do you feel that's going?
We were really surprised. We doubled the likes on the YouTube Northborough cable channel so that we were able to get their live stream capability from like 480 to over 1,000 in a weekend.
Yeah.
Which was great, because so now they could live stream, which is wonderful during the pandemic. Tim was there. Thank you, Tim, for coming. It was a great event. We added an a cappella high school group this year because of things. And now we're saying, we have the children's chorus at the tree lighting. Let's have the high school a cappella group again. And I do, as soon as we were just finishing setting up the pumpkin stroll, and I don't know if you guys remember, but it snowed that week. So it was kind of tough because there was snow and slush, and we were uncovering the pumpkins and making sure they were all still lit. And as we're leaving and getting in our cars, a family came and with their costumes on. And it was like the sweetest thing. We were like almost crying in the parking lot. And we're like, people are already here, like right on the dot when it started. So
exactly.
In the concerts, some of the concerts, I live right into the Northgate neighborhood, and we have cars on our street. So they have become, and believe me, that's something I've thought about as well. With the pandemic, a little worried about how much advertising I'm going to do. But yeah, I really feel like things have, and Munchie Madness has been very successful too. And I've even had friends say, I don't want to enter, but I'm telling everybody to eat out. This was a great reminder. We got to know some of the business owners, and they were so thankful, and it's just been wonderful. So I really enjoy being on this committee.
Well, it's a lot of great stuff. It's a very busy group, and a lot of fun things in town. So, Jen, do you have any other questions?
I don't think so. I wanted to just add on to that going back to the pumpkin stroll, I took my family there, and there was even a Daily Metro West newspaper reporter that she quoted us. We happened to be there the same time she did. So it was just nice to see that other people are noticing the amount of work that you guys put into keeping the community tight and together. And I know that these events are so popular. And I feel like when we first moved here, I didn't know much about the committee. And over the past few years, more events have been added. I've attended a few of your meetings, so I'm able to see how you guys work together. You don't necessarily, like you said, assign positions, but everybody sort of goes where they're comfortable, and everybody knows what their strong suits are. And I just seems like a really fun group.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Okay, so we've come to the end of the interview period. We tend to go about 10 minutes or so, and I think that we've heard from you, we've heard from Susie as far as the committee goes. So unless you have any other questions, we'd like to thank you very much for volunteering and taking the time to interview with us this evening.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
What we're planning on doing is Selectman Kalin and I will be deliberating right after you leave this meeting, and we will be bringing a recommendation to our board on Monday at the Selectmen's meeting, Monday, April 12th. And then the board will vote on that recommendation. So we have this committee, and then we had an applicant for the Youth Commission as well. So those two committees will be on the agenda.
Okay, sounds great.
Thank you very much, Jen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
Thanks for explaining everything. We appreciate it.
I hope I
Thank you,
covered
Susie.
everything. Yes, thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. 3 great interviews. This is
Yes.
always the hard part, and I say this every time. My least favorite thing is deliberating online about people in town. It's hard, when people volunteer and everybody brings different things to the table, it's hard to deliberate about that. It's one thing to deliberate about issues, but it's hard about people, so.
Yeah, well, on a positive note, Susie did mention that if somebody isn't voted into a voting position, that they can still volunteer for the committee in a non-voting
Right.
manner. So
Right, exactly. And that's a wonderful way to actually start out on a committee, is to be a non-voting person in a lot of ways and kind of learn the ropes.
Yeah,
I think that can be important, and I hope that those applicants understood that to be the case.
yeah. I thought both candidates were great. I thought they both interviewed great. The biggest difference for me is that Jen Kenny, I know, has been involved in Proctor and the PTO and was head of the PTO. So I just think she has a little bit more experience working with the community and just more ready to hit the ground running. You know, if Jacqueline's up for serving as a non-voting member, you know, just to get some experience, I think that would be great. I just think looking at their experience that Jen just has a little bit more experience working with and around town.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Right. It was nice to hear that both candidates, you know, have taken the time to participate in events and attend or watch something in a replay and all that kind of thing. I think it's important that people tune into those things. And they both have interesting backgrounds. Jacqueline, as far as nutrition education and encouraging physical activity all the way from infant to seniors. There's a lot of different things that she has done. I agree with you about Jen. That was where I first started, was all the PTO stuff and being chair for a couple of years, and you know, working on a budget and planning and having to speak in front of groups and you know, trying to get people involved and people who may not want to be involved, getting them involved and trying to figure out what people's strengths and weaknesses were, because we have a lot of different subcommittees as well at Peaslee. So, you know, all those things I think are important in terms of maybe this particular committee. I think that would be a lot of help. The fact that she's also helped out with the food pantry and has attended town meeting according to her application as well. So I think they're both wonderful applicants, but I think based on what Jen has done with the PTO, and I understand exactly what she's done, I would recommend her at this point.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. Well, then I think we would need to take a vote on the youth committee.
And do you think Dr. Lipton has enough education?
I was going to suggest that she go back and get another degree. Fantastic background. We'd be lucky to have her involved.
Yeah, no kidding. Right? No kidding.
Really, really wonderful. Really wonderful. They all three of these women came across so well, and just so happy to see them all. So I think what we would need first is a motion to make a recommendation for Jennifer Lipton O'Connor as the Youth Commission.
Yeah, hold on 1 second.
Oh, yes, bring up those. Dodd put together some motions here.
So I move the subcommittee vote to recommend Jennifer Lipton O'Connor for the appointment to the Youth Commission for a 2-year term.
And I second that.
Any further discussion?
No.
And a vote?
Aye.
And I vote aye.
Okay. That's wonderful. Okay, so we will bring that motion forward, or that recommendation forward, to our selectmen meeting on Monday. And the next is the Community Affairs Committee for the one opening for a 3-year term. I'm sorry, and the Youth Commission position is a 2-year term. Community Affairs is one opening for a 3-year term. Do you want to make the motion, Tim, on that?
Yep, I move the subcommittee vote to recommend Jennifer Kenny for appointment to the Community Affairs Committee for a 3-year term.
Second.
Any further discussion?
No.
And a vote?
Aye.
And I vote aye.
Okay, and that passes, and we'll be bringing that recommendation forward as well to our selectmen's meeting on Monday, April 12th. So I want to thank everybody for applying and for taking the time to interview with us, and also for Selectman Tim Kaling being here for interviews.
Thank you, Leslie. Always good to see you. Thank you, Di, for running a smooth sailing ship this evening.
You're welcome. We just need a motion to adjourn.
Okay,
I make a motion that we adjourn.
I second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Awesome. Thank you, Tim.
Thank